All right, hey guys. Today is still April 24th. What a beautiful day. What I'm going to talk about, I just did that video where I had talked about the twinkle lights. Somebody had asked about them, and you know, got just a little short about it. But you know, please disregard any time I may seem bothered by something because really, for the most part, I'm not. I got to tell myself that I've got a bunch of new people here on the Arizona 4 channel that haven't been following me since the beginning or however long. Anyway, enough BS. Um, so I talked on that video about the twinkle lights, and I believe on that one I talked about the big red orb. Um, but I'm going to talk about the big red orb. My first year out here doing this, it's October 2017, more towards the end of the month. I'm out here alone. I have a bunch of people that were going to come out, some BFRO people, and what have you. Actually, had a scientist out of Germany that came out on that trip because all the unusual activity that. Who is this new guy on the internet talking about all this stuff? Well, anyway, I came out a few days before everybody else came out, so I'm out here all by my lonesome. And the direction that the camera is facing, okay, so we are the farthest trees back that you can see. They're 100 plus yards back out there. Not this little grouping of trees right here, but farther back behind them. It's bottom of a coal mine dark out here. And off in those trees way back over there, I noticed what looked like the trees got lit up by somebody's brake lights. And that was my first thought. Oh, brake lights. And then it dawned on me, there ain't nobody out here. The road is a lot nicer coming in here now than it used to be. Damn near needed a four-wheel drive with clearance to get back here because of some rock steps. If you know what you're doing without four-wheel drive, you can negotiate them. But for the most part, somebody without a lot of experience would need some clearance. Anyway, so there was nobody out here. And I'm sitting there looking over there, and I'm like going, what the hell is that? Well, then, about the time it dawned on me there's nobody out here, I see this big red, bright ball. A big, huge red orb. So from here to there, it was probably the size of a softball, maybe a bowling ball. Somewhere about that size. So where it was at, the reality was it was probably closer to somewhere in between a basketball and a beach ball. Something about that size. And I'm watching this thing drift around through the trees. And, so it kind of drifts from over here and it goes over into here and it just kind of vanished. Well, this big oak tree directly in front of us, Fred's tree, all of a sudden there was all of these little sparkles, like little LEDs popping on and popping off. And, it had to have been, probably 30 of them. I'm just sitting here going, what the, little while later, up in the sky over here behind these trees, there's the red orb again. And it drifts and it comes around, and it's coming around in through the back and forth through the trees. And it gets about over to here and it just vanishes. And then over there, there's all these little twinkle lights. And I'm like, what in the is going on out here? What went through my mind, because I really didn't know anything, was Travis Walton. And those of you who know who Travis Walton is, you know the story. Those of you who don't, he is a logger that I think it was the late 70s, mid-late 70s, not too far from this very location, probably 10, 15 miles as the crow flies. Him and his crew, they saw this bright light out in this field. He walked out there and poof, up he went. They took off, and I think it was about 2 weeks he was gone. Where he woke up, directly behind my head, probably about 4 miles as the crow flies. That's where he woke up. So I was deeply concerned. You know, I was like, what in the hell is going on out here? Well, then the forest people, Indy, to be exact, he was standing somewhere between the oak tree and those trees back in there. He was standing somewhere right back over there. Yeah. All I could see, now mind you, it was dark. And at first I thought my eyes were messing with me. But because of the silhouette of the background, it's hard to tell now, but at night, back over there, you can actually see quite a bit of skyline through the trees. And that was the only reason I was able to see him. Man, it's hard to believe that's almost 8 years ago. But anyway, the activity was pretty wild that night. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm talking about the orbs and the twinkle lights. So that's just a quick story. I talk about that one. I did an interview with Eye of Jupiter, which will be released to the public on the 29th of this month. The members that belong, paid members that belong to that site, they've already seen the video. So if you're one of them and you've seen that video, when I was talking about the big red orb and the twinkle lights and that, that's where it all happened. First one back over here drifting around, and then back over here and drifting around, and so that's it. I'll do a bunch more of these for instance videos, I guess is what we can call them, just to get you guys caught up on some of these experiences I've had out here that the Arizona 4 have had out here. I think probably the next one to follow in line with this, because of the Eye of Jupiter interview I did, and it's kind of what it's titled, he vanished in thin air in front of my eyes, or something to that effect. I'll walk out to the road and I'll take you guys on that journey and tell you about that one. But with that being said, I love each and every one of you. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Be good to yourselves. Be good to those around you. Pay attention to your surroundings. Stay safe.